Spencer Lazar at MMAinterviews.tv alongside Tyson Steele taking on Steve Carl this Friday night live on the NBC Sports Network for World Series of Fighting 3. Obviously, your second fight here for World Series, your debut was quite an impressive one.
Thanks. Everyone seemed to be pretty happy with it. I was certainly happy with the way it went. I mean, if you never saw the fight, or even if you did, obviously being stuck in the nasty head and arm triangle that Gregor caught me in early in the fight wasn't really part of the plan, but I managed to free myself of that and finish him with some ground and pound in the end. So
obviously you have great submission skills yourself and have most of your wins have come by way of submission. So obviously confident in that matchup going in against a Gracie.
Yeah, well, I'm a realist when it comes to these things. So going in fighting Gregor, I was true to myself in knowing that I would be outmatched jiu-jitsu wise. So my key to win was just basically to put my hands on him and beat the jiu-jitsu out of him.
Yeah, I mean, and you did exactly just that. Talk about your skill set, your coaching. Obviously, you do have that great ground up there in Canada where you get your work in.
Yeah, we do have a really solid team with some fantastic wrestlers at it as well, so I can attribute some of that, as well as my head coach Graham Wink puts it all together for me really well. So I've been getting nothing but better over the years. Definitely
nice to have an MMA fight as opposed to grappling. Have you done much grappling though, tournaments and things like that? I mean, how is the grappling scene up there in Canada?
There's lots of tournaments in Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba. However, since I started fighting in MMA, I stopped going to the jiu-jitsu and grappling tournaments. I did do a couple before I got into MMA though.
And I mean, obviously nice to have the recent news that MMA is legal in Canada now all over. Do you expect more promotions to pop up in the sport to gain more ground?
Yeah, I certainly hope so. It's always been a big dream of mine and even my teammates to have pro MMA in our hometown of Saskatoon, because it would just be great to get a lot more friends and family and fans out to support us, and then it would keep us back home, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to have events in our home province.
Definitely. I mean, Steve Carl now on to the fight. Tough matchup for you here at welterweight, and a pretty wide open division as we have the title fight also on the card this weekend. Talk about the matchup and where you see yourself going in that division.
Well, as the way I see it, the World Series of Fighting, the way it looks is they have their top 4 welterweights fighting tomorrow night. Without question, Fitch and Berkman are 1 and 2, and then Steve and I are 3 and 4. Which are 1 and 2 and which are 3 and 4? That's what we'll find out tomorrow night. So
talk about the matchup. I mean, what you're looking to do. Obviously, probably take it to the ground and use that ground and pound. Use your submission skills.
Well, not necessarily. I just want to go in there and stay safe. I know Steve's pretty wild and aggressive on his feet, so I'm gonna play it safe, try to avoid that big overhand right that he likes to throw, and when I see any opportunity present itself, whether it be to take it down and beat him up on the ground or hit him standing up, I'll capitalize. Yeah.
Do people get surprised at all when you tell them that you're an MMA fighter? You got these bright blue eyes, this nice hair, this guy over here. Did people get surprised?
I don't think so. I think the ears are usually a dead giveaway, but yeah, I've been getting uglier and uglier over the years. So soon there will be no more surprise, I guess.
Was it at all surreal fighting on such a big stage as the World Series of Fighting last time against a Gracie on NBC Sports? You know, it's a pretty big stage for you.
I didn't realize how big of a stage it was until it was all over, and I started getting a lot more attention than what I had in any previous fight. Going into it, I try to look at it just like any other fight. You know, I pay no attention to the bright lights and cameras hanging around. It's just I go in there and I got a job to do. I go in there to do it. And then that's what I did. I did my job well, and then afterwards my name started popping up, and all of a sudden a lot more people wanted to start talking to me and know who I was and things like that.
Getting on that Twitter, getting those Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Superman movie's coming out. This is the Man of Steel. That's his nickname. We're gonna see you as a cameo in here, man. You look like you fit as a Superman to me. You just got that. Got to get rid of that Canadian accent, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'll work on that, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it turns out that it's been kind of a fitting nickname that was given to me a long time ago when I first started fighting. Yeah.
How long? Talk about your progress sort of in the sport. You're 10-1, talk about getting to this point and the hardships and just maybe the point when you realized, man, I can do this. I can compete with the guys at the highest level.
Okay, well, I had my first fight back in 2008, February of 2008, I believe. When I first started training mixed martial arts, it wasn't something that I had intended to get really serious with and even compete in the cage. I just wanted to go and learn and just have fun and things like that. And one day my coach asked me if I wanted to fight. So I said, sure, you know what, I'm working out real hard anyway. I'm holding my own with all these fighters in the gym. Maybe I'll give myself a goal to go along with all this training I'm doing anyway. So I went in there, I fought. Going into it, I kind of was thinking, this will be like a bucket list type thing. I'll try it out once and then that will be that. But I ended up winning in under a minute. I choked my opponent unconscious in about 56 seconds. And from then on, I was just hooked and it snowballed. I fought 3 more times, like within the next 9-10 months, I think. So I was 4-0 in under 12 months. And then after that, I suffered a bit of an injury. I tore my MCL training. So I was on the sidelines for a little bit. And during that time, I kind of realized that, hey, you know what? My first 4 fights, I was fighting at welterweight. I hurt myself, and I was starting to think that I could get a lot more serious. But I was also thinking that these welterweights I'm fighting they're kind of big. I can make lightweight. So I did that for 2 years, and I made weight every time. But it was a major struggle, and it wasn't a very smart move, like from a career standpoint, because what ended up happening was it limited my fighting to only twice a year because of the weight cut and everything, the diet down. And then what happened after the first time, what I cut all that weight was I ballooned way back up to heavier than what I ever been before. So I did that for 2 years, and eventually it was getting tougher and tougher. So I said, enough's enough. I'm going to move back up to welterweight, and since then, I've been doing a lot better, feeling great. Training's going way better. I don't hate my life during training camps. I can come into fights feeling healthy, and just actually, like in the last year and a half, is when especially after that last win, I've really started to realize that I can hang in there with some of the best. Because fighting a Gracie and beating a Gracie, it's obviously a big name, and it's a family that I looked up to when I first got into the sport, and I still do, of course, but now I know I can hang with some of the best.
Very excited to see this Friday's fight. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'd just like to thank World Series of Fighting for bringing me back out here again. I'm really happy to come put on another show. I guess I'd like to thank my coach, Graham, all my teammates back in Saskatoon that have helped me, and a few sponsors I should thank. I'm going to forget it. Some of them I always do. But Gamma Labs, Grips Athletics, Las Vegas Fight Shop, Street Soldier, Soul by Ludacris, Soul Electronics. Thanks a lot. And yeah, all you guys have been great to me, super supportive, so appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate the time. Tyson Steele taking on Steve Carl this Friday night, World Series of Fighting 3, live on the NBC Sports Network.